Today we're going to talk about the single greatest conflict in the history of the world between Britain and the United States. Maybe second biggest. We are going to go through probably the most popular sniper rifle in the world, candidly. The Accuracy International just released their brand new ATXC. What's different? How did an American two-lug shooter take it? Not sure. Stick around, we're gonna find out. Guys, this all started for me some time ago. Really kind of twofold. I went to a match a couple years ago. Someone had an Accuracy International. I just thought it looked awesome. It was more the traditional, but it was really high, center to bore. So despite the rifle looking awesome, I thought, man, that could never be something I could seriously compete with. Well, then they changed it. They started listening to the shooter, especially the competitive shooter, and made changes according to that. They brought that center to bore closer together. They added an arc array on the bottom of their forend. Did a lot of things that really made a lot of sense from a competitive perspective. Then I had another friend who ran a very similar setup to what I run, moved to the AI, and really enjoyed and liked it. So it intrigued me. When I saw the announcement of the new ATXC, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Especially when I kind of read a little bit more about how easy it is to switch out the barrels. I was like, hey, why not? So I started digging. There are really only two places that I found to buy this rifle and the components for it on the US side. And both of them I'd done business with, but one of them I really liked. So I went to Mile High's website, but I knew I didn't want to stop there, right? Because the 6.5 Creed was what I was able to get. I knew I wanted different barrels, so I was able to grab 2 more barrels, weight kits, kind of you name it. Really, it was a one-stop shop for everything Accuracy International that I needed. And so really want to give them a shout out. They sent me a shirt. I told them I'd wear it in the video. Thanks, guys. Anyway, showed up on the doorstep and I was off and running. I have over 1,000 rounds down this rifle already. I'm really enjoying it. It's a ton of fun. But really quickly, I want to talk through just the variance between what's new, the ATXC and the ATX. Simply put, there are a couple real key takeaways. First and foremost, a lot of things guys had to order after the fact on the ATX comes standard with the ATXC, namely the full front rail, full front Picatinny rail. Why is that important? You know daddy keeps that thing on him, homie. I've competed with this rifle already, and I've hunted with this rifle already. And for clip-on, thermal, night vision, what have you, it makes things really easy, so you don't have to buy that separately. Second, it comes automatic with the hinge, so you can fold your stock. That's been really neat. I've not really had a foldable chassis in the past, and so as far as lugging this thing around, especially if I want to keep the suppressor on it, that's been really nice. You do not have to buy that separate. That comes as a standard part of the ATXC. And then lastly, the action itself. So they were able to take a ½ pound out of the action. That's my understanding. It's either ½ pound or 5 ounces. I'll put it over the screen somewhere. Pretty sure it was ½ pound, which would be 8 ounces. Math. So anyway, they also raised, from what I can see, they raised the rail above the action. It's not kind of, and I'm wondering if that's how they cut out some of the weight. That doesn't really matter to me. Either way, you have to run higher rings to be able to run this because, again, you've got a full front rail. And so you've got to run either you got to get custom rings like the ones I have from Area 419 built specific to this scope, or run like a 1.5, 1.54, something like that. And then lastly, the knob, very technical term, the knob on the bolt, okay? They enlarged that. Now, guys, I'll be straight. When this first came in and I saw it, I wasn't the biggest fan of the look of that for sure. and kind of the key mod look. That it's not key mod, it's their proprietary locking system. But I'm just being straight up. Like, I wasn't a big fan of those two things. What I will tell you now, though, is after putting over 1,000 rounds down this rifle, there are two of my favorite things about it. Why? Officially, when you consider the throw of this bolt, this should take me longer than my 2-lug does, whether it's a 90 or a 75. It doesn't. And the reason why is because on a 2-lug, I blade up, I pull back, I run it forward, usually with my thumb because I started on a Savage and they were sloppy actions, and then I go down. So I've basically adjusted my hand 4 different times for one bolt throw. This, man, I come up, grab it, pull back, forward, and down. I don't have to adjust my hand. It's just a quick, fluid movement. I really, really like it. The other thing is I ran the ATX. After having run this as much as I have, they have the smaller diameter. I don't like it as much. I mean, this is just, it's not in your way, but when you go to run that bolt, man, it's there and freaking just makes life easy. So I really, really enjoyed running this bolt in this action. Again, your boy's a 2-lug guy, but this 3-lug, man, I've been very pleased with it so far. I haven't had any issues. I had one feeding issue because I'm an idiot, and I am not accustomed to the mags yet, and I rammed the mag in the bag on a barricade, and it cost me points because I'm a moron, and it cost me the win, actually, so double moron. Anyway, all in all, I've been really pleased with this thing. When you consider the NATO testing that they put this rifle through, this rifle is pretty much bomb-proof, and so, again, it's no wonder why they run this all over the world as kind of the go-to sniper rifle. I get it now. I really do like it. It's very cool. All right, outside of the extreme NATO testing they put this thing through, the most impressive thing I've ever heard about an Accuracy International came from an instructor and a guy, pretty well-known shooter, Jacob Bynum, down by the Houston area of the U.S. He put 27 308 barrels in a row on his action. 27 308. Okay, he estimated that he had 350,000 rounds on that single action, and he broke one roll pin. That's it. He didn't service it, he didn't do any of that stuff. And so again, the legend has grown. I've gone and tried to look up exactly what he said, but he said that when he sent it in, he thought he had about 350,000 on it. He confirmed he had 225,000 years before that and hadn't had a single issue at that point in time. So talk about torture testing. I don't think we have enough life or 308 ammo for anyone to ever repeat that test, nor should they. Punchline, Accuracy International actions, good. And as far as the look of the key mods, which I'm still not a huge fan of, I went to Mile High, I bought the weight kits. The other thing I've been running on this, super excited to go through this, Collis 328i, you heard me, 3 to 28. What a huge wide range of zoom variants, right? Magnification variants. I've really enjoyed this scope so far, guys. I ran it in competition, I've run it hunting, and I'll give you a couple key takeaways. First off, it's like having a spotting scope on top of your rifle. Really cool to be able to go up to 28x. That's really fantastic, especially in a still relatively compact scope. Everything's been good. The magnification is smooth like butter. The parallax is good. Very clickable turrets, like all that's been fine. All that checks out. No issues there whatsoever. Is it the world's best competition scope? I don't think it's the fix. Like, that's not ultimately what I'm saying. But what I will tell you is it has probably the widest eye box I've ever used on any scope ever. I mean, it just is massive. And so the reason you're going to see me switch scopes later in the video is because there's no trigger cam on the planet that will fit on that bad boy. And so it limits us there. But as far as actual usage, like I said, I took it to a one-day match, and I missed the win by 2 hits. Ran it for the first time ever. I'd literally just thrown it on and zeroed it like the day before, and it functioned flawlessly. The other notable thing is this is Area 419. Guys, this is a 36 millimeter tube. It is not easy to find rings for this setup, especially when you consider you really need to elevate to run, unless I want to take that 4-in rail off, the Picatinny rail on. Area 419 literally made a scope mount specific for the Collis 3-28. And you can notice like the diameter of this, it's a little bit longer back here towards the shooter than it is up front. And so they've made a particular cantilever scope mount to adjust for that and make up for that. Love this. You guys know how I feel about their one-piece scope mounts. I am like, it's all I run at this point in time. I've also got on here the new Area 419 dual Arca lock and Picatinny quick detach bipod mount. That's been fun. Good to go there. Again, you can see these weights. These weights on here were made by Win Tactical. And again, these are sold Mile High carried these. That's where I got these. And then you can do an internal weight kit, but that's going to add about another 1.5 pounds to this thing. So old girl, bare bones, she was 18 pounds. She a thick girl. She like that girl your buddy who had no game took to prom. She thick. But again, I think as part of the component of the NATO testing and all the things they have to go through, I mean, they built a bomb-proof rifle here, so I've been really pleased with it. But these Win Tactical weights have been really, really neat, really quick. I think they're a 1/2 pound each, something like that. And so it's really been neat to be able to adjust. And then also, Accuracy International makes these little Picatinny rails you can attach. I've got my Sykes clutch over here. I bought these at Mile High as well. And I throw my little OBI carrier plate on there so when I compete, I can slide it in on my bag and just carry it kind of hands-free and go from there. Lastly, the suppressor. I'm running a T-back Magnus on here. Sound suppression is absolutely phenomenal. You'll hear in a second. But if you notice this old bad boy right here, that old sexy beast, that's right, cold tack, baby. Kind of an M40 traditional woodland camo pattern, if you will. I think this looks freaking phenomenal. I love this suppressor cover, and so I've been running this suppressor, namely just to run the suppressor cover because it matches my green. Because, you know, fashion, gun fashion. Another question I've seen asked a ton, I just wanted to kind of reflect it, is the bolt lift. Everyone's like, oh, the bolt lift, it's so heavy, it's better. Okay, here are the facts as I measured them. The bolt lift unfired, crazy smooth, okay? But it's very similar to the ATX. Both of them run about 1 pound, all right? And so this one I measured at 1.2 actually. The original ATX I measured at 1. Now the guy that I measured it from put some lapping compound on his lugs, I think, and so it made it smoother. So is that consistent? I don't know, but I would say they're both very, very, very similar. No real difference there. Once it's fired, the bolt lift on this one, I measured, I think 4 times. It's right at 8.5 pounds, okay? On the original ATX, I measured it at 9. So is it lighter? Once fired, unfired, it's about the same. But once it's been fired, is it lighter? Yes. Is it significantly blow your mind lighter? No. Like I said, about 1/2 pound worth. And so the other one is running about 9, this is running about 8.5. So either way though, very manageable. And like I said, with the larger diameter bolt knob, guys, I don't even notice. I am fluid and smooth like butter with this thing. Throwing it and no hand adjustment when I do it, so it makes me pretty quick on the throw. So anyway, all in all, I sign off on the action. It's slick. So anyway, that's the setup we're gonna be running today. Again, I've shot this at distance. I'll show you some clips of the extreme accuracy there. But really what I want, probably what I'm most impressed with, just outside of the like bomb-proof realm and the fact that now it's certainly built for both practical application and competition, I have been most impressed with my ability to change cartridges like that. And so today I'm gonna shoot and change out barrels and show you that process and how simple it is. It literally takes one tool, a fix-it stick with a 49 foot-pound limiter on it, and I'm swapping barrels and we're going. Honestly, guys, the hardest thing about swapping cartridges on this gun is making sure I put the right ammo in it once I have the different barrel on there. 6 Creedmoor, 560 yards, 6 Creed, factory ammo. tell you, I definitely noticed a difference in recoil in my shoulder. Wow, look at that little group, baby, off barricade. Wow, look at that little group, baby. Very nice. Now what happens is the only other tool that you need for the Accuracy International to be a multi-cartridge man is a little fix-it stick with a 49 foot-pounds. Really straightforward and simple, guys. Weapon is clear, mag is out. I'll go right here, this little screw. Loosen that. Now I'm gonna unscrew the barrel. Now I'm probably gonna speed this up so you don't have to watch this whole thing. But here we go. .65 Creed barrel. Now here's a crucial part. Make sure you switch the ammo to the appropriate ammo. Most of the time it won't fit in there, so you've got kind of a safety net, but not all the time, so be careful. Here we go. Pack low. Pack low. And pack low. All right. Pack low. All right. Okay. That was 6.5. Now, let's switch to our final cartridge of the day, which is the 6 GT. The GT is a 26-inch barrel. Again, I got it from Mile High Shooting. They had it in stock. They had all three of these in stock, and so let's switch it out. I'm going to use factory loads for that as well. These were 140s, and by the way, I'm using a zoom of 25, guys, just so everyone knows. I'm zoomed all the way in so you can kind of see the recoil if you were to run the stage that sort of way. So all right, guys, on to the last one. 6 GT factory loads, running the 109 ELD match, baby. Here we go. Factory loads. Right. Well, that's a heck of a little group down there. Factory loads, 560 yards off barricade. Guys, that was a fun test. We changed a lot of things, but I think the ultimate takeaway here is just the flexibility and adaptability with different cartridges to be able to swap barrels like I just did and literally not even go re-zero, kind of find your way. And what a cool way to demonstrate really the dynamic range of the new Accuracy International ATXC. Slightly high. Touching almost. Oh baby, with factory loads at 1,000 yards. That is what they say is what's up. Nice. Now let's hear from a guy who's got more rounds down the ATX in a competitive shooting environment than anyone I know at a very high and successful level, Greg Knoyer.
Okay, so this is the Accuracy International ATXC. I've been running the ATX now for about 1.5 years in competition in 6-dasher. Derek just got this ATXC, which apparently has some upgrades, improvements, lighter bolt lift, some lightning cuts and stuff on the action, and then it also comes with the full bridge. We have this set up with 3 weights on both sides, as well as 3 weights in the internal barrel channel. This one is set up in 6 GT. He wanted me to shoot it and just kind of give my first impressions on it based off of my experience with the first gen ATX. So see how it feels. Haven't shot it yet. We're gonna go out here to 575. Okay, bigger knob's nice. I like the bigger knob. Zero issue there. Recoil's really good with the extra weights. Up just off the left. Wind picked up. Up just off right. Off right again. Okay. Go 4. Don't notice the lighter bolt lift. I don't know if that's his not broken in yet. It feels pretty much the same as mine. Obviously it's not broke in as much. The bolt lift, I don't notice the lighter bolt lift. The 6 lug action on the AIs is a little tighter than what you would see with a 90 or whatever. The bigger knob, it definitely feels nice. Running that to cycle the bolt than the first gen one. Trigger feels like it's out of the box. He hasn't adjusted it yet. It's not quite as light as mine, but it's still perfectly usable for a good competition trigger. Recoil on it with all the weights is really nice. Feels like mine. 6GT's a nice light recoiling fast cartridge. 4/10 again. Nice and stable. Came off the right on that one. I mean, barely any wobble. I have my finger pressed on the trigger and I'm obviously talking. Too much wind. That thing is narrow. Okay, you can definitely still feel whenever you're out of ammo. All wet, ran perfect. No issues with it. It feels pretty similar to mine, how it is now. The bolt knob is right now the really only big difference that I notice. But I imagine as it breaks in, it probably slicks up, and maybe that lighter bolt lift, you could probably get a better feel for over what the standard Accuracy International action is.
So final thoughts, guys. You saw how easy it was to switch out barrels. Holy cow. You saw how accurate this thing is. With factory Hornady ammo, it absolutely stacks. I took factory loads in that barrel, and again, if I weren't a dum-dum, I was in the position to win a one-day match with this rifle with factory loads, a scope I just put on, and a rifle I wasn't used to or comfortable with yet. So this thing is an absolute tack driver. I've been really pleased with all 3 accuracy out of all 3 barrels I got from Mile High. Thank you again, Mile High, for just doing good stuff and carrying dope things. They've got really right stuff. They've got Impact Precision. They've got Accuracy International. They've got you name it. They carry a ton of the brands that I use all the time. I would highly recommend checking them out if you're looking for this or really kind of anything else across the board. Mile High Shooting Supply, they're nice. I want to give a huge shout out to Hornady. Hornady, I hit them up. They sent me some ammo to use in this video to demo this thing. They've seen some of my other videos just showing their accuracy, and so they were like, hey, obviously, you know, we feel like you show the product well. We want to send you some more ammo. Test it and let us know. And I took factory 6.5, 140 grain bullets to that one-day match. Again, missed the win by 2 hits because I'm an idiot, but it smoked all day long. It was really nice not having to reload for once. It was really nice. And literally, I just threw the scope on and the can on and grabbed factory loads and went to work. And so these factory loads have absolutely stacked. Huge shout out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Hornady. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And again, huge shout out to Area 419 for making awesome, dope products, and Coltac for making the coolest looking suppressor cover I've ever seen in my life. Guys, really appreciate it. Like, subscribe. Man, we got more content coming, more fun stuff. If you have ideas, Put them in the comments section. Till the next time, I'm still an American, but I like the Accuracy International rifles. See ya.